Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 219.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Massey, and I'm glad that you are here today because today we are going to address a very common question that I receive. And, maybe because I keep answering it, you don't believe yet. But more importantly, I think after you hear today's guest, you will go, oh, okay, well, maybe it is possible for me as well. Now, today's guests have done some incredible things very, very quickly, and I appreciate the move at the speed of instruction attitude that they have. They just go out there, they make things happen, and that's the key. Entrepreneurs are needed in today's market, and you're going to meet two of them today. But the question that I tend to get a lot, that you guys send to us, you ask me all the time, hey, am I too young? Am I too old? Am I too something to be able to do this? And I think you're going to enjoy the people that we're going to be talking to today. They are the co-founders of Holdfolio. That's right, holdfolio.com. We've got Jacob, the CEO, and Sterling here as well together, and they are going to share with you how this whole thing has become something that I think is impressive. And most importantly, I think you're going to think so too, because you've been looking for cash flow and they have found a way to provide it. Welcome, Jacob and Sterling. Jacob, you guys here?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. J. Massey.
Hey, welcome.
Yes, you could just call me Jay. That's completely fine. But I love this. I love what you guys are doing. I like the fact that you're taking advantage of, the imbalances in the marketplace. But one of the things that I love to do is I tend to look at today's entrepreneurs a lot like yesterday's superheroes, So I'm going to ask you both this particular question because I think it's going to be helpful for everybody to hear. In the same way that entrepreneurs and superheroes are similar, superheroes tend to go, use their special skills in various different forms to be able to help people solve their problems, etc. But before they were super, they were just, people. And what we want to know is before you had, Holdfolio, before you were managing millions upon millions of dollars of real estate, before you were doing all the things that you have begun to do, who is Jacob and Sterling?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is Jacob speaking here, as you said, CEO and co-founder of Holdfolio. And, when I first got my look at real estate, I was a freshman in college at the University of Nevada.
Whoa. Hold on. You said a freshman in college. That sounds like it was yesterday for you.
Yeah. That was, I guess, approximately 6 years ago.
Okay.
6 or 7. And, but I just, late one night, I was cruising the channels, couldn't go to sleep, and I saw a infomercial on real estate, making millions of dollars in real estate, and kind of one of those guru commercials.
And, I don't think anybody here has ever seen one of those, but yes.
Yeah, no one knows what I'm referring to, probably.
Not at all. No flashy cars, no boats, no, you can do it too. But right. I totally understood.
Yeah, so it was from that infomercial that, I kind of piqued my interest in, what's going on in real estate because, with higher education, being enrolled in the university, there's obviously no courses that are really going to teach you how to go out and make a living in real estate today. And so I kind of took it upon myself to start learning more. And that was really kind of the start of the process for me, was just going out there, researching online, attending some meetups and things. And that was the start there.
Got it. And what about you, Sterling?
Yeah, so I've been involved with entrepreneurship as early as my middle school days, selling candy
Yes.
in like Kool-Aid packets to kids around the school.
Nice.
And I was able to move that into a business oriented where I had other kids selling to other kids and coming back to me with dollars. And it was when I got started in the real estate industry was back in 2009, 2010 in the construction side of things. And it was a couple years after that, I met a mentor here in town that was the developer of commercial properties. And this is when I really started to get the mindset of going into the scaling businesses, reading books like The 4 Hour Work Week, and really getting that success mindset. And I was able to put myself around the right individuals such as Jacob, and we were able to really venture into the single family home space and start the company Hopefolio to bring value.
So the interesting thing is you went from distributing candy to distributing houses. I like this. Building this distribution network is awesome. And I think for many people listening, you realize these entrepreneurial tendencies, they've always been there, but they seek expression in various different ways. So I'm curious to know, how did you two meet?
Yeah, absolutely. So working here in Indianapolis, I put myself with a very successful investor here in town, and really got involved in his organization. And it was through one of his events that Sterling and I met. He was an attendee of a seminar here in town, and I was with my mentor, with his company at that seminar, and spoke a little bit and got in touch with Sterling. Basically, how that turned out was, he had approached me at the seminar, and we exchanged, emails as I do with many people looking to, do something in real estate, get started. The thing that was different with Sterling, though, is that, he showed up in the office the, next day and the next day, and, his persistence was very impressive. And, that led to, us, getting some deals done together, and, kind of form the relationship from there.
I like it. 100%. So Sterling, where does this persistence come from?
It's really from one of the rules that Napoleon Hill talks about in his book. Is one of the keys is having that ever-ending, burning desire. And one of the desires that I had was just putting the right people around me, which Jacob was one of those individuals I really felt a great connection in.
Got it. So now I'm curious, you guys are relatively, as far as real estate goes, I mean, I've heard it said many times, it's an old man's game. It's gray hair rules here, all that type of stuff. I'm curious to understand, because I'm sure you guys get the question, because if I get the question, you get the question. I'm curious to hear your combined perspectives on what, if anything, does your age and youth have to do with your ability to transact real estate, and why so many let that be a roadblock for them?
Yeah. I think what was really exciting for me as I really started, getting involved in managing, rental properties, and, getting into the space, is that, it is a very big mom and pop business, and the opportunity to innovate and create new ways of doing things was just massive. There's the more I got involved with property management and purchasing investment properties, and, partnerships, how people structure a partnership in real estate. it was just mind-boggling to see the ability to, simplify, innovate, and make better. And I think that's, one thing that's very exciting, as being a young person coming into the space.
And what about
Yeah.
you? Yeah, go ahead, Sterling. I was going to say, what about you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Piggybacking off what Jacob said, and just simply is not letting those the status quo of the age and the gray hairs stopping people. I think that's
Or lack of gray hairs in this case.
yeah, lack of gray hairs. I think that's just one of the excuses that some people would use to kind of hold themselves back. But for those people that are using that, I would just simply tell them to go out and take action.
Well, and here's what's going through my head. All right. So for everyone listening, and yourselves included, there's always this moment. There's this moment of, okay, I relate to the world this way. I see myself as, this freshman in college. I'm the kid selling candy at school. This is my identity at that moment. But there comes this moment where you realize, maybe I can do more for other people. Maybe there's more that is possible for me. And then you have to make a decision to actually do it. I call that often that superhero moment, because you're making a conscious decision to go against, like you said, the status quo. You're making a conscious decision to start serving people in a completely different way and showing up to the world in a completely different way than you have in the past. I want to hear about that transition, like how you were able to manifest the courage and desire and ability to follow through on that, despite what some could call the obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the big things for me was realizing, it was in a book that I read, I can't remember the title, but it stated that, it was probably a Napoleon Hill book, but it stated to, put yourself around other people you want to be like, and, find a person. And it kind of talked about the strength of mentorships. And it talked about finding the person that is doing what you think you want to do and figuring out how to work with that person. And so, for me, that ability to kind of really break through and what you referred to as a hero moment was being able to be persistent and find that individual number one. I found a successful investor here in Indianapolis selling, hundreds of properties every year. I simply, engaged him and figured out a way that I could help him. I didn't ask for a job. I didn't ask, how we can make money together.
Whoa. Hold on. I want you to repeat that, because you, my friend, just scored major points with me right there. You have no, I mean, maybe now, but you have no idea how often it comes in. People say the exact opposite of what they do the exact opposite of what you just did, and say, let me work with you, partner with you, something, but they're not offering anything. So I need you to repeat that, so that for the person who was washing dishes, or their dog barked, or their kid screamed, they can hear that part again as a more adequate way to seek out someone's help.
Yeah, absolutely. I simply found the individual that I wanted to, become like, and I, instead of, asking for a job or how to make money together, I simply asked him how I could help him, and, clarified that I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for a job. I'm just looking to learn, and I'd like to help you. And that opened doors, into that organization for me.
Love it. Sterling?
Yeah, my very similar to when I found my mentor here in town. I took a similar approach, in which I actually, one of the first buy and holds I had from my portfolio, I went out and found it for him, and essentially it was just going to be, he was going to pay me a fee, but instead he said, "Hey, let's just partner on this. This is a really good deal, and instead of giving you the fee, let's take the long-term route."
And you said,
I didn't turn that down for a second.
Okay, but here's the thing I've got to know. How did you know to say yes? Because a lot of people would have taken the fee instead.
I thought big picture. Everything that I do in the day-to-day operations, or just when I'm, just thinking big, the goals that I have posted around my house is always thinking about my future self.
I like it. I like it. It seems to me that you guys got a number of things on straight, but I've got to ask this question because you've said the word a number of times and it sounds like it's played a big role. What role would you say the idea of having a mentor has had on you at this stage of your career?
Yeah, absolutely. That is crucial. I would not be anywhere near, what I'm doing right now without being able to get involved and leverage, not only the experience, but the day-to-day, operations of someone who, is successful in real estate and doing, great things. It's kind of like he put it, over just, 2 years working with him, on that level, I was able to, put, 10 years of real estate experience under my belt. And it accelerates the process so much when you're able to get involved and, learn from someone who's doing what you want to be doing.
Yep. Now, Sterling, I'm just curious. You both mentioned mentors. Is it the same person or are these two different people?
Two separate, two different individuals.
That's good. That's good. And how important has mentorship been for you?
It's played a huge part in my career in this industry through learning from him and also reading a lot of books and pulling certain information from people that have long gone been from this earth, and just being able to pull their life experience and into the business side of things.
It's funny how much dead people know. I'm just saying. I mean, if you're on Twitter too much, you're only listening to the wrong people. But you could be. But if you listen to some of the dead people, they got some things to say that tend to help. Is there anyone in particular, any particular biography or book that you were thinking of when you said that?
Well, there's one speaker that really has engraved like the whole "we become what we think about," Earl Nightingale. That's one person I listen to just about every day on the car ride to work. And, that's something that I would tell your listeners is to really, because there's so much negativity that's out in the place, the general, I wouldn't say too much negativity, but there's a lot that's put out there in people's general, like, what's that word I'm looking for? Perception. So just feed your mind constantly with speakers like a Tony Robbins, Earl Nightingale, Zig Ziglar, and reading all these books really helps with blocking out that self-doubt that most individuals tend to encounter.
You mean if I listen to CNN, I'm not going to continually
No,
improve?
avoid that at all costs.
Well, go ahead.
Always feeling empowered after the local news, right?
Yeah, right. Yes, I'm ready now to take on the world and change. So tell us a little bit. I want everybody to hear in your own words. Why don't you, where did the concept for Holdfolio come from? What is Holdfolio? Tell us, what it is. Where did it come from? And more importantly, give us some of the things you guys, I think they're going to be hyper impressed with some of the things you guys have been able to do. All right, so here's the deal. The most important thing to your idea is great. And I know you're listening to their idea right now and you're wondering, what did these kids go out there and do? Well, kids, I'm talking to you now, and I don't care how young you are, how old you are. I'm calling you kids. We're all kids together here on this planet. And here's the thing. Just start your idea. I'm hoping that you are getting that idea. Start. Once you get started, stay started, and that's probably one of the most important things that you could ever do. Now, if you want to catch up and learn a few more tips on getting started, staying started, and most importantly, what you need to do to get started, grab a copy of my book absolutely at no cost. Just send a text message to book. Text 72000. That's 72000. Keyword is book. Just send that on over. I'll send you a link. You'll give me your name and email, and I'll send you an electronic copy of Cashflow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. You can go look it up on Amazon. You can go buy it on Audible. I'm trying to get it to you at no cost right now. If you want to go do that, by all means, please do that. But if you'd like to get it at no cost, send a text message to 72000. Keyword is book. And I'm going to teach you some of the things that is going to be required for you to get your idea off the ground, whether it's real estate related or not. Now, let's get back to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the concept for Holdfolio, really, as I began investing in real estate, obviously very young, it was crucial to create partnerships, in particular, not only with experienced investors, but also with money partners. And, it was something that I really learned to enjoy, to be able to entrust, someone's confidence in myself and to go out there and, complete a successful real estate project and make money for all parties. That was very powerful. And when I started getting involved in rental properties here in Indianapolis, what I was really involved in was turnkey rental properties. And I'm sure some of your listeners know what I'm talking about. Some may not know, but a turnkey rental property is where an operator goes out and purchases a turnkey or a rental property, and renovates it, rents it, and then provides that rental property to maybe an out-of-state investor or local investor. They manage that property. So, the idea here is that, someone looking to get into real estate can buy this property and collect the rent. And, through working in that model and selling hundreds of turnkey rental properties, it's kind of looking at how do we turn this into a partnership model? Because, what we're doing is buying rental properties, selling them, and then we're done. We're managing them for that investor. But, many times those investors purchasing those rental properties, they aren't necessarily real estate investors. They have full-time jobs. They're looking to successfully invest their savings that they've earned, and they're looking to real estate, for hopefully higher returns, diversification. But, people owning rental properties, in my opinion, the people who are successful at doing that are typically those who have the time to take, the time it takes to, do due diligence, know what they're investing in. So, kind of sitting back, I was thinking, how do I keep, buying lots of rental properties and, get other people involved, people looking to invest in those rentals. And that's kind of where the partnership model came into picture. And, it's nothing new. There's been partnerships in real estate and private placement for a very long time. We just kind of sat back and said, how do we structure this so that we're different? How do we get not just accredited investors to invest with us, but non-accredited investors? And for your listeners, an accredited investor, is someone who has a net worth of more than $1 million, or hits an income requirement of $200,000 per year. There's a lot of people looking to invest in real estate that don't meet those requirements. So really, it was all about, for us, creating a model that we can go out and buy rental properties, like we enjoy doing. It's what we do every day, and someone can simply become a team member. Become someone on our team, become a partner by providing capital for those rental properties. And what we actually do is, we go out and buy the rental properties with our own cash. And then we pool those properties together into portfolios. So, we create a rental portfolio, and then typically of 10 rental properties. And then anyone can, view the details of that portfolio and choose to invest as little as $5,000 for a percentage share of that portfolio of properties.
Love it. Got it. So Sterling, tell us a little bit more about the process. How do you guys, make your magic sauce happen?
So the areas in which we like to purchase these properties, if I'm going in the right direction of your question, is we really like to target what we've been seeing here in Indianapolis specifically is a movement amongst millennials and also Generation X who are wanting to live downtown and the surrounding areas of downtown. So we're able to go in and purchase those properties at deep discounts, enabling us to not only capture appreciation, but cash flow.
Yeah.
So
now you're talking my language.
Yeah. So essentially what we call that is like an urbanization type of movement.
Excellent. So it sounds like you're ahead of the population trends. What are some of the, and I'm curious for my own edification, see if we're similar, but what are some of the, demographics or stats that you guys pay attention to that help you make your decisions?
Yeah, absolutely. The, employment is a big factor.
Yeah. I was chuckling because it's the first one that comes out of my mouth too, and people like, you care about jobs? I'm like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and also, a big part of owning real estate is your interaction with, local municipality, local government, and what we found is it's obviously much more lucrative to own real estate in a state that is business friendly. So that's kind of what we really like here in Indiana is the business friendly state. The employment rate is well below the national average, and we like to see job growth and a diverse job market. Where are the jobs, and how is the job growth? So with those factors kind of on a macro level, then we're able to kind of pinpoint neighborhoods that we can invest at very rock bottom prices, but still have great quality of tenants. And also we have long-term investment horizons. That's why we're kind of tracking this urbanization movement. We're holding properties in areas that not all of our properties, but many of our properties are in areas where there's revitalization efforts going on. And so hopefully we can get in there and purchase some properties, provide some nice places for quality tenants, and capture a great appreciation over the next 3 to 5 years. It kind of summarizes our strategy there with our outlook on our rental properties.
Totally understood. So if someone comes to you, because they probably do, I mean, people are listening from all over the world, why Indianapolis?
Yeah, like I just touched on about the macroeconomic details. Another reason why is because we have, this is where we got started, and this is where we've bought and sold hundreds of rental properties. It's what we know, it's what we feel like we're experts at. And so, right now in this stage of the company, we're sticking with, our backyard and really making sure that we're delivering the returns and, the performance on these rental properties. But obviously there are lucrative places to invest all over the United States. But that's one big reason why we're here in Indianapolis, and we definitely have the vision to get into other markets and other sectors of the real estate industry.
And a little bit on that also is what we've seen in Indianapolis, specifically the Midwest, is cash flow. Here in Indy, it's a very linear market versus a California or an Arizona or maybe a Florida where it's a lot more.
Hey. Why are you bagging on California, man?
Well,
You know where I live. Come on. But we got great sunshine and a whole lot of traffic. But it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah, those markets. There's so many different ways to play your real estate and play your investment strategy. For us, we love a strong cash on cash return from those rents.
Right.
We are okay with appreciation rates that are going to keep up with inflation. That are we're not going to knock it out of the park on our appreciation unless it's those specific properties in those neighborhoods that we're targeting. But in general, we like that strong cash on cash. We forego the huge appreciation gains. But it's kind of where we like to be.
Totally understood and 100% agreed. So now that you're picking up steam, you've got some strides going, you understand how to get on base. What would you guys say is next? Where are you headed? What's the future?
Yeah, absolutely. For us, it's really figuring out how to get into more markets. Other cities. There's other strong cities here in the Midwest that will support our model, our cash flow model on these rental properties. We want to get into those markets successfully without, with minimizing any, with minimizing the any potential, hiccups. As we get into those new markets, and that will probably be focused on partnerships with local operators, local successful investors there in those cities, and we're always expanding. We're networking here in town with commercial developers, apartment builders, and mixed commercial developers, because we want to get into that space, and we're not going to go out there and try to endeavor on a big commercial project by ourselves, right? We'll get that experienced person on our team and create a partnership. So for us, that's kind of where the outlook is just getting into those sectors and new markets efficiently.
So only because you mentioned the idea of government, and I normally don't ask this type of question, but you seem to have your finger on the pulse and you're looking at things in a correct way. I would love to know how you see, if you see anything changing, or with the we'll say the upcoming presidential elections somehow affecting any of the strategies or thought processes that you've had about your business.
Yeah, we certainly don't anticipate with our cash flow properties here in the Midwest. We actually hold our properties all cash, and so there's a certain type of interest rate risk that you're might be exposed to if we were leveraging. I know that there's quite some feelings. I mean, the interest rates could only go up at this point, and so that will be interesting to see how that will affect the real estate market in the different sectors. But for us, we're not too concerned right now at this point as far as trying to get ahead of the game on that aspect.
No. Sounds like you're playing a very conservative game, which is I think interesting in this day and age. So it makes totally understood. I get it 100%. So when it comes to some of the skill sets that you guys have had to produce, I mean, there's a number of people who are listening and they're going, man, I want to be like them. I'd like to be able to get into the real estate game and make some things happen and change my life, etc. I'll go to you first, Sterling. What would you say those skill sets have been that you guys have had to develop in order to achieve the level of success that you have seen?
I'd say first is achieving the abundance mindset and versus having the scarcity, knowing that there's so much opportunity out there to be had. Like when we attend like a local meetup that we're networking here in town, you see individuals are like, there's no properties to be had. There's so much competition. You just go in simply with an open mind. It's for the taking. There's sky's the limit with where you can go with your career. Other ones are, being able to leverage social media is huge. That's a skill that we've been able to pick up in the company, as far as that's what we've seen most of our clients are on, and we're able to leverage that and get in front of the right people.
That makes sense. Totally. What would you say, Jacob?
Yeah, everyone is going to have their particular strengths. And, for me, I'm a numbers guy, right? I graduated with a finance degree, accounting, economics. So I look at real estate with a very numbers oriented approach. And, as we started building, our company together, you want to work with people that complement your weaknesses. One of my weaknesses might be my ability to be persistent and ability to, step out of the comfort zone. And that's really why Sterling and I, our partnership was so great, is that, his strengths really complement my weaknesses. So, keep that in mind as you start getting into real estate. What resonates with you? What are you good at? How does that fit in with real estate investing? And, where do you need to compensate to successfully, invest in real estate? But, being conscious of what you are good at, that's a huge, huge thing. Most people don't think about that too much, or they think they know what they're good at. But, you have to ask people who have worked with you, ask people who know you. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of self-judgment, but a big part of it is, getting an opinion of people that have worked with you, and so that's a process. I definitely encourage people to figure out what you're good at, and then determine how are you going to compensate for your weakness. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to gain that skill, but you definitely have to be conscious of it. You're way ahead of the game.
Agreed. So for those that have listened this far, those that are like, okay, I dig what these guys, are saying. I'm picking up what they're putting down, and I'm ready to explore some things a little bit further. What's the best way for them to catch up with you guys?
Yeah, we do our best to keep a strong online presence. So our website, holdfolio.com, that's HOLDFOLIO.com. That's where I'd encourage people to go. We have different social media channels. Sterling and I are members of some forums. You should be able to get a hold of us very easily. So simply, take a look at what we're doing. We provide content out there. You should be able to easily get a hold of content, and reach out to us.
Excellent. Now, as I often do, I have this final question, because again, there's probably someone who's listening right now, someone who's wondering, about themselves in various different ways. They're standing in front of what I like to call the superhero outfit store, and they think they're ready to put on their cape. They're wondering, should I use a mask or tights? But they still have that voice in the back of their head. And I know that you guys have had some experience with this voice. Is this that voice that comes up every time you think you want to move forward, and it chooses to remind you of things that might tempt you to stay behind. And what I would love to hear from both of you as we exit here is, what would you say to that person right now?
Whoa, you got really deep on that one.
We're just trying to help people, because that's the stuff that's really keeping them behind, and I know it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Mm-hmm. So what I would say to that person is, just go out there, and that voice will always be there. There's a quote that I love by Mark Twain. By the title of it is Courage, and he says courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, but not absence of fear. So the fear is always going to be there, but you have to take action anyway.
Excellent. More dead people talking. I like it. Jacob, what would you say to the same person?
Yeah, I would say, if you're looking to get started and along the lines of, what you want to do, what you want to pursue, it kind of goes back to finding that person that is doing what you want to do. And keep in mind, all these successful real estate investors out there, we're all normal people. Don't be discouraged to reach out to these people. Find a way to work with these people. Don't be discouraged. And that would be my advice to them.
Excellent. And I agree. Thank you, both of you, for taking the time to invest your knowledge and expertise here with us at the Cashflow Diary.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for you to move at the speed of instruction. What does that mean today? That means you've been talking about it, thinking about it, hoping about it, wondering, how can I have access to a marketplace that is possibly outside of where I live and still be able to produce some cash flow? Well, it sounds like the guys over at Holdfolio could be your solution. Again, what is that you should do? Probably go over to holdfolio.com and figure this out. Get in contact with Jacob and Sterling, because I'm guessing they are eager to help you as well. It's been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.